you guys, so it's Keoshia from KeoshiaBudgets, and I am back with another video. This is going to be a little bit different, as you can tell from the setup. This is a viewer choice video, so Saturdays will be my viewers request videos. Whatever you guys request will be in a Saturday video or a Saturday upload, just depending on how fast I go through the list, how big the list is. You may get one every Saturday, you may get one every other Saturday. I don't know what the frequency will be. It will be based on whatever you guys request. So the first video that I ever got requested was, how do I make my cash envelopes? I told you guys before, I am on a budget and I did not want to spend any money on cash envelopes. I've always made my own. I've never bought any from anybody. I've made all different types, all different kinds. And I find this to be the most quickest and simplest way and most cost-efficient way to make my envelopes. Now, if you're somebody who wants all the fancy papers and all that kind of stuff, that will drive up the price of your envelope making. But some of these tools, once you get them, they're permanent, and you only have to make up buy that equipment once or twice, depending on how often you use it. If it's business, personal, whatever. At this specific moment, I am doing this for personal purposes, but I did have a cash envelope business at one point. I've had several businesses, so don't mind me when I say I had a business for this, I had a business for that. I literally had several businesses. I just find that I'm not really a business person. I like helping other people, but I don't like doing it myself. It's very odd, but I do have a business-like mind and can execute anything that I choose to execute, especially if it's gonna save me money. Okay, that part, very good motivator. But with that being said, if you guys want to see any videos and specifically, make sure you guys comment down below, and I am keeping a running list of all the videos that are requested. And if it's within reasonable and something that I want to share, I will record that video. If there's something that I don't want to share, I feel like too personal, I think I will reply to the message and let you know, hey, I can't make this type of video, but you know, maybe if you modify it or something, I don't know. But just know, if I never make your videos because I felt like it was too personal and I didn't want to answer those questions. And it just is what it is. I mean, it's the internet. I don't have to put everything out there. But with that being said, if you want to learn how to make cash envelopes cost efficiently, DIY at home, and you're on a budget like me and don't want to pay for them, then keep on watching. All right. Let's get into this. So let's first talk about equipment. So the first thing you need is a computer. Okay, you need a laptop, a desktop. You can even go to the library and use their computer. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to get a computer, borrow your friends, whatever the case may be. And you will need a some kind of printing software. You can use Microsoft Word. You can use, Pages on, what's that thing called? On Apple, I think it's called Pages, if I'm not mistaken. Or you can use Canva. Canva.com is a free app. And you should be able to do this without getting the pro version. I do have the pro version because I do run a business. I do YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And so I need my pro version. So I do pay for that, but you can do this with the free version. So there's that. And you need a printer. So I currently use a HP LaserJet. I got it free from work. Never returned it. They didn't come looking for it, so I kept it. It is what it is. It does only print in black and white though, so if you would like color envelopes, make sure you get a printer that can do color. Mine was free, so I'm going to stick with the black and white. I think I did try to go see if they had color toner for this printer. They do not. They only have black and white, so therefore it was meant to only print in black and white, and I'm okay with that. I'm very neutral, as you can tell from my binders and all that kind of stuff. Black and white is perfectly fine with me. The next thing you need is clear vellum. I love to give my vellum from Michael's because they always have a $5 coupon, and this 40 count vellum sheet costs $6.99. But if you use that $5 coupon, you'll get $5 off, and you'll end up paying $1.99 plus tax for 40 sheets of vellum. When you're first starting off, I don't think you'll need more than 40 envelopes. If you need more than 40 envelopes, then I don't know what to tell you. Most people start off real super simple and add on as years, months, whatever go on, and things get a little bit more complicated, a little bit more, need to be a little bit more granular. But 40 envelopes, 40 sheets should get you about what you need if you're a first-time cash stuffer and want to start that process. So I get the 8.5 by 11, and this is a 29 pound vellum sheets, and it's by a company called Recollection, and it's the clear vellum that I have. And then it looks like this. It says it's clear, but it's more like a frosted. So it's not going to be like super clear. You can see, like, you go up, you'll see my hand, but it's not like clear, but you'll see the shadow or whatever. So it says clear, but it's not really super clear. So that is the vellum I get and use from Michael's. And I'll try to link everything down below that is exactly it or something similar. And then my favorite laminate sheets are the Scotch. I don't use anything but Scotch. They work really, really well. I never have any problems with them. And they're very good for the price. So I use 5 mil. I do not like really thin envelopes. The 5 mil is super thick, super durable. And I really don't have any problems with my envelopes when I use 5 mil. When I was using 3 mil, my envelopes would fall apart or they would be easily like broken or whatever. So I started using the 5 mil and it made a huge difference. And of course I have 8.5 by 11. So I got these today from Office Depot. 100 pouches were $34.09 on the website. I went into the store and they was $57. And I was like, ma'am, on your website, these say $34. How y'all gonna be $23 plus over the price on the website? Because you could order it and pick up in store. I was like, do I need to order this online and pick it up in store? Because I will, to save $23. And she was like, no, we'll go ahead and, adjust the price or blah, blah, blah. So she adjusted the price to $34.09, like the website. And then I'm a member, sign up to be a member. You get random coupons every now and then, promotions. I had a $5 promotion. So I ended up paying only $29.09. So with tax, it was $32 for 100 laminate sheets. This should last me a very long time, especially if I'm not making it for a business, especially if I'm only doing it for personal use. I probably didn't even need 100, but I'm hoping that one day Jalen, I've made some for my sister, my mom, and I just feel like everybody needs to do the cash envelope budgeting system because it's just great. I mean, I've never heard anybody who said they did cash envelopes and didn't save or do anything that they couldn't do. So that's just me. So that's what I got from Office Depot, but you can find it cheaper. You can get a 25 pack, you can get a 50 pack. You don't have to get 100, but I just got 100 because I know I'll be using it. So why not get a good deal? And then the next thing you need is a laminator. I did get the Scotch laminator. I got the big industrial one that does 3 mil or 5 mil. It lets you know when it's ready. It has a release button in case it gets stuck. And then it's just a regular laminate. It just plugs up into the wall and you just run it through and boom, it laminates. I run it through about 2-3 times and then we are good to go. Then the next thing I have is a paper cutter. You'll need a paper cutter, something to cut the vellum when you print out your sheets. And you'll need to have like something with measurements on it so you'll know where you need to cut and all that kind of stuff. And this one, I can't remember where I got it from. I want to say I got it from maybe Michael's, but it's West Coast Carbo Titanic, child. I don't know. I just picked up one that I thought would do better. I like it because it has the flip up thing and it has a little thing where you can just slice right on through it. It's super simple and it has like a pull out thing right here as well. So I apologize if the light is changing, y'all. It is super gloomy today, but if I don't record this today, y'all ain't gonna get no video while I'm on vacation next week or out of the state for a work trip. And then the last thing I got is a hole puncher. I've had several hole punchers. I've had big ones. I would invest in a hole puncher that does mini, pocket, personal, desk, A5, A4, A3, whatever, because this one here, I can't remember if it was super expensive. It's I want to say it's a recollection one if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But this thing has saved me so many missed punches, messing up my envelopes because it wasn't right. So you can do A5 personal, A6 agenda, pocket, mini on both sides. So my one is a personal. So I put and I like it because on the inside, I don't know if you guys can see. On the inside, it tells you where to put it. So for instance, I put this little line right here on personal because mine is a personal. But if yours is the A5, you would move this little line to the A5. And then you'll move the line over here to the A5. And that way you'll know that your envelopes will always line up correctly. Sorry, the little plastic stuff coming out. Will line up correctly on the thing. So let's go ahead and get started. Now that you know all the equipment you need, I'm going to put in some clips of me putting the stuff on Canva and then printing out the actual vellum folders, and then we'll get into making the folders or the cash envelopes coming. So today we are learning how to make my cash envelopes. So the first program that I use is Canva. I do have the pro version, which allows me more fonts and different kind of things, but there is a free version of Canva where you should be able to make these exact envelopes. Is not nothing that you need that is in the pro section. So if you have internet and you have Canva, you can get all this for free. So basically, each envelope has its own 8.5 by 11 page in Canva, and I made the boxes a specific size to fit my money. So I'm going to give you the dimensions here. If I can figure out how to do it. I think, yeah. Oh, let's hit Control Z. All right. I think somewhere you can show the dimensions of this box. I guess I should have been prepared. Let's see. Advanced formatting. No. There's some way you're supposed to be able to see what it is. We'll just modify this one a little bit. So this one is width is 6.7 and the height is 3.2. And what I did was I created two boxes and I kind of just put them together. They're both the same size. I did make them a dark, like gray color, and you want to get the boxes as close as possible. This is just your folding line. So I kind of did a folding line. I found it easier than, going ahead and trying to make one full box and find the middle ground to be able to put a line in between the full box. If you're good at that, go ahead and do it. I'm not, so I didn't. And then I found the middle of my box here, and then I picked my font, which is Woodland at the current moment, and it's 31.5 is the font size. And what this does, it gives me a guide to cut when I am cutting, and it also helps me know where to fold and make sure that every envelope comes out pretty much the same. Sometimes I do mess it up and it doesn't come out the same, but it's not really a big deal because you may or may not see these gray lines. Sometimes I cut them off, sometimes I leave a little bit, it just depends. So then what I do is I kind of keep my envelopes running. As you can see, I have the last ones that I made when I did my month ahead folder, and I just duplicate it over and over again to make sure they're all the same size. So we're going to go ahead and start typing over these because we're making new ones today. I do like to use cap locks, so we're doing a septic tank, and then we're doing a self-care envelope, and then we're doing a Jalen fuel envelope. And you can just delete them all, do whatever you want, but I just like to keep them there and then just print out to the page number that I know I stopped at. And once again, you will make up your own categories. These are just mine. Every day I'm thinking of new stuff to create. And I'll probably have a lot of envelopes. I don't care about having a lot of envelopes. If I have space to put them in there, I will. If I don't, it is what it is. I can always do it digitally, not necessarily have a physical envelope for it, but sometimes it's just better to be able to see it tangibly for me. If I can see it, then I do feel better. So we only made 11 envelopes today, so I would print this out to page 11. So we're adding a grocery buffer, a emergency fund buffer, a checking buffer, a savings buffer, Memorial Day, car registration, graduation tip, car tires, a Jalen fuel, self-care, and septic tank. And I actually want to create, where is it? I want to create a property taxes and home. I think that's all I need. Y'all know I can't spell, so excuse me. I don't even try to be ashamed no more that I can't spell. Tuctible. There we go. I think that's it. That's gonna be it for now. Whatever. We make more, we'll make more. So we're at 14. So basically I print these out, but I'm gonna go ahead and print them out. Use my big computer. I'm on my laptop right now because it's easier to record on here. But that's basically what I do. And then when I do print them, I'll do share and I'll do download. And I found if you read this, it tells you what's the best thing for printing. So for printing, you would do a PDF. So I would save this as a PDF. I would not save all 38 pages because, you know, we're not doing that. So you can go in and you can select none. And then you have to pick all your pages that you want. So I would go all the way up to, I think it was 14, if I'm not mistaken. So go all the way up to 14, 13, 14. I believe it was 14. Hope so. We're going to hit done. And then I would hit download. And so right here, you'll see where it says it's printing them to PDF for me. And then it's going to ask me to save. I just usually save it as cash envelope because I usually delete the file later. And then if I open it up, it'll open it up as a PDF and you'll see the line. So you'll see how this line is kind of messed up now because I moved it around. But it's no big deal. It'll still work out the same. And so we'll just make sure we have all of the new ones that I selected. Hopefully I got property taxes and home deductible should be the last one. Yep. So we have all 14. And so now we are going to go and we are going to print this out.
All right, guys, so here is my printer. It's an HP LaserJet. I actually got this from my old job and I just never gave it back. And this is what I use. It only prints in black and white, so that's why all of my folders are in black and white. I don't really need color. And so the vellum always gets stuck, so I feed it one by one through this little thing down here. So I'm going to go ahead and start printing out my 14 envelopes that I want to create today. So what I do is I go on my computer and I find the file and I just hit print, of course. And then I feed through each laminate sheet one by one. Because if I don't, they get caught and they just be acting up, so I don't have time. And I will show you guys up close with the vellum and stuff, all the equipment and stuff you'll need ahead of time. You should have seen that already. So here we go. I think I have enough left for this. So they're all print out. I know it's a little tedious to feed it one by one, but I'd rather do that than mess up good paper. Because they'll get caught and then they'll get messed up and then I have to waste paper and I don't like wasting paper. And it looks like something is off. I think it's an extra line. And sometimes it'll bleed over, but it's fine. It doesn't really mess up anything per se. So there are all of my new envelopes printed out on the vellum. So now we'll take it over to the desk and do the rest of the stuff. All right, you guys, we're back. So here are the printed out new envelopes I need to make. There's 14. And I'm just going to show you guys how simple it is to fold them. Like I said, I make it so that there is a line in the middle
so I know where to fold it. Sometimes it does like transfer a little bit, but it's no big deal. You're not going to be able to tell after you laminate it. So basically I just fold it in half. It's pretty much in the middle of the paper. So if I put the two edges together, I can pretty much fold it right in half. And it comes out exactly where it needs to be. And I just fold them all up and then I cut them all at the same time as well. It's just easier that way for me. You do have to be careful because this is vellum and it's an inkjet printer, sometimes the ink can rub off. I don't remember what kind of ink you need to use on vellum so it doesn't rub off. I don't really remember, but like I said, this printer was free and I just make sure that the ink is facing down, that I don't want to rub off. I don't care about the ink rubbing off on the back, so it doesn't bother me because you won't really see the back that much. And I just fold it in half and I just turn it over once I've done it, which means I probably should just do it this way. But yeah, we're just going to fold all these up and then I'll show you guys how I cut them. All right, so we have them all folded up and ready to go. I did make a oopsie on my Canva thing. I do lowercase, uppercase. I don't do all caps on my envelopes. I don't know why I said that, knowing good and well I don't do that. So now we're going to take our paper cutter here and we'll move this stuff out of the way because it's in my way at the moment. And I basically cut along the lines here. So we'll zoom you guys in so you can see. I just cut along the faded line pretty much right on it. And a little bit of the line will still be around the edges, but that doesn't bother me none because when you laminate, you can't really see it. And then you want to make sure it is big enough for your money. So we got some little prop money here. You can just stuff it in there. You always want a little bit of room around the edges when you put the money in there. So as you can see, I have pretty much enough room all the way around. It doesn't stick out the top, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of what we do, and we'll just keep on cutting until they're all done. And they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be exact sizes, because by the time you get ready cutting them up with all the laminate and stuff, they'll all be the same size. All right, we're finished cutting all of the envelopes down to size. And this is what they look like, ready to be laminated. So let me get my laminator and everything ready, and I'll show you guys how we laminate. All right, so we got our laminator. You hit the 5 mil button, and then when this light turns blue, it is ready. So we're gonna sit this off to the side a little bit, as much as possible. Kind of this way, just so you guys can see. And then, so you will not need 14 laminating sheets for this job. Put that back in the box, because more than one can fit inside of the laminating sheets. So we're gonna open this up, and one can usually fit right here. And I like to make mine 4 inches, so one will fit right here, and then one will fit right here. So you can get pretty much 3 envelopes out of one laminate sheet. And sometimes I'm very anal and I hate to mess things up, so I will take something that's already, I know it's perfection, and I will just go and make sure I have enough room to cut where I need to cut. So for instance, on this one, I have that room, and so I would just move this over just a tad bit more, just to make sure we have enough room. And then I would test it here to make sure it's enough room. And then I'll get another envelope to make sure it's enough room. And that's just me. You don't have to do this. You can do whatever you would like, but I don't like wasting money or time. So I want to make sure all of my stuff fits in here. And it doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't matter how close you get to the top, because you're going to cut it off anyway. You just want to make sure there's enough room on the sides to cut without cutting the folder open, if that makes sense. So that looks good. And we're going to move this one up a little bit too. And so there you go. You have it in there. And now this is what takes me the longest, because once again, I don't like messing up my envelopes. So I kind of be super cautious when I do this. I kind of hold it like a pizza thing, and I feed it through the laminator. And since this one doesn't have anything to hold it, I kind of hold it, try to make sure nothing shifts, make sure there's nothing on the laminate, no dust, no hair, no anything that could get caught in between there that you can actually see, because once it's laminated on the inside, it's in there. So I kind of make sure there's no particles or anything like that. And this one I think is different than the laminate I have now. Yeah, these are the clear sheets. The one I had before weren't clear. You can kind of tell how the laminate is. It was more like frosted, but it don't matter. So these will be a lot, depending on what kind of laminate, these will be a lot clearer. So you can see this is much clearer. This is like kind of frosted, if you look at it, but this is super clear, if you can see. But if I put this one over it, it's kind of not clear, but that doesn't bother me. I just need the envelopes to work. But I do like this super clear look though. Not sure what other kind of laminate I got. I'll have to look up the different kinds, but this is definitely super clear. And the words and stuff show up a lot better. And you see these show up a lot frosteder because it's not super clear laminate. But like I said, if that bothers you, just make sure you get the same laminate type, or I don't know what you call it, the type, so clear versus what, I didn't even know there was such thing as super clear, non-super clear, until I was in the store today. So it is what it is. So I'm going to finish laminating all of these. I showed you how to do it. Well, let me show you how to cut it. And then I'll come back when they're done because that's going to take a really long time to do. So let's move this over a little bit and I'm going to show you how I cut them to make sure that they are correct. So once again, I told you I have them at a specific height, which is 4 inches. So what I do is I make sure from where I want to cut my line. So basically the top of the folder here where I'm going to cut open is at 4 inches. So it's a little bit above it because you're going to cut it open, right? And then I cut right at 4 inches. And then I cut here, like wherever the laminate is, I cut a little bit around the edges, like right before it. Not enough to open it, but just enough to cut it before. And then I put this to 4. I put the bottom part on 4 again, 4 inches again. And then this will let me know where the envelope is going to be cut open. And now we have a cash envelope that will fit our money perfectly. Okay. And then if I take one of my old cash envelopes, you'll see they're all the same height, the same width, and they won't be looking weird inside of the thing. And since my thing is on the right marker for my personal agenda, it also has a safety feature on there for locking it and unlocking it. I don't know why, but it be acting crazy. So I'll take it and I'll line it up and I'll punch the holes in it. And now you'll see the holes are lined up almost perfectly, but it won't affect anything of it going into the binder. So if I go back to my binder here and open this one up, I'm gonna put in, can't remember which one goes first. I don't know. And then I put the septic tank one in there. They all line up beautifully and perfectly, and it fits with the rest of my envelopes. So that is how I make them, and I'll come back and show you guys maybe one more time, but I'll do most of them first, and then I'll be back to show you the last set that I make. So I'll be back. Guys, we're back. So we have all the rest of them laminated. I had an uneven number, so I've been meaning to laminate my personal spending one because it's broken inside of my binder. So I went ahead and retrieved that from my little stash of stuff. And we're just gonna go ahead and I guess replace it today. And after I do a couple, I don't have to measure anymore because I kind of get used to where the edges should be. And so it goes a lot quicker. It's just that first one first one or two, I have to get my bearings together. So we're gonna run this one through the laminer. And this is why I didn't want to do this on camera. See how long it takes in real life. It was literally like 3-4 minutes for it to go through the laminating machine. So that would have been tedious. I do apologize. I do want to apologize if the light is weird. It's a very cloudy day and light's just going in and out and I just can't do anything about it. So we just have to make do what we got today. As you see, I got my lights on trying to help with it. Don't know how much they're helping, but it's all we got today. And I always do it twice, once the long way, and then the second time I do it sideways, the opposite way, so that I can make sure it's sealed in all areas and it gets it from all angles, long ways and sideways, horizontal versus vertical, basically. Y'all, going back and looking at my other laminate paper, I think I had 3 mil on these other ones here. Because they don't look nothing like this. So I thought I had 5 mil, but I don't think I actually did. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So now we can turn this off. Sit it on the floor and let it cool down. And let's get our paper cutter back because we are about to cut these bad boys up. So let's see. So these are all the ones that are laminated here. And we are going to get to cutting. So once again, I will put this on a little bit above the 4. And I will cut along the line here. And then we'll go back and cut right at 4, which will open the envelope. Always check to make sure it's open. I've gone back, didn't check, and then it wasn't open. So don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. And then some people like to go back through after they've even done this part and run them back through the laminate. I've never had a problem, so I haven't done that. So I don't really do that. But if you feel like you must do that, then, you know, do what you got to do. So you see how this would have cut off most of the envelope. So make sure you are doing 4 from here first, from this side, because you'll cut like most of your envelope off, and then you turn it around and do it on 4. So you just have a little snippet of your envelope cut off. You don't want half the envelope cut off trying to open it. So always make sure you do that. And then as far as the sides, I don't know if you guys can see, there's like a groove here. You can kind of see where it goes around the laminate part. I just cut like right in front of it. So not on it, but in front of it, so your envelope doesn't come open. And you still have enough room to like open it up. So basically 4 is my number on here. Everything has to hit with the 4 and from the opening. And that's how so you can pick you a number if you don't want to use 4, if you want to use 3, 5, whatever. It's depending on whatever size your binder is. Mine is a personal size, so I find 4 is good enough for me, so I use 4. But once again, use whatever you see fit that works for you. And there we go. So I'm gonna keep on cutting these, and I'll be back. All right, all of my envelopes are done, and they're all sized beautifully and correctly, and will fit into my binders perfectly. So we're gonna go ahead and punch the holes in these, and then we will be done. So this does take depending on how many envelopes you have, what's going on, this could take you a minute, but time versus money for me is no big deal. I'd rather spend some of my time to save money than to spend money to save time on this project. Not every project, of course, is that easy to determine. Sometimes you have to weigh the pros and the cons. And for me, I'm sitting here looking out my window, enjoying my beautiful property while I make these envelopes and record this video for you. And it's no big deal for me. So you determine if you have the time and energy to sit down and make these envelopes, or is it better for you to purchase them from someone? Especially if you want them to be more colorful, look a little bit more streamlined, you got some kind of aesthetic you're going for. But like for me, like I said, with my envelopes being neutral and my binders being neutral, this works perfect for me. So there we go. We have all of our new envelopes created. And that's how I do it, you guys. So super simple, very cost efficient. Like I said, the cutter, the hole puncher, and the laminate will be your biggest investments. And then the vellum and the laminate sheets will be just depending on how many envelopes you want. If you can find coupons, if you don't need 100, of course, buy less than 100. 100 costs $34. So if you can find, you know, 25, 50 for half of that, that'll still be really cost efficient than buying them for people. I've seen envelopes cost up to $100 on Etsy shops and stuff. So I know everybody doesn't have that money. I know when I first started, I didn't. So I had to figure out how to do it myself. And I once watched videos on how to do it. So I've made, like I said, I've made these vellum ones. I've made some out of like old scrap paper with the peeking window. I've made some with the strip across. Like I've done so many different versions of cash envelopes. And this I find is the quickest and the simplest and the easiest and the most aesthetic to me. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.